Hello, and welcome back to Lisa's Little Critters. Today I wanted to do a video on the accessories that I used for the sewing shop. And first of all, I'll show you some of the things I got on Temu, and then I'll show you can make some of these yourself. This is the little thread, and it's in a little basket, which of course you could use wood to do that and make your thread, and I'm going to show you that. And then there was a little box, and it's really cute. It has a little measuring tape and some thread, some embroidery floss, and I'm going to add that to what I have. And then there is buttons. These are tiny little buttons that I use on my critter clothes, and they really look cute as far as a button, to sell buttons in the store. Now the first thing we're going to do is I'll show you the measurements right here. This little pattern is 1 inch wide by 1 1/4 inches long by 3/8. Okay, these are the little tabs, and then the inside is a 1/2 inch by 7/8. And I'll leave that there if you want to copy it. Then I've cut it out of blue paper. I have a little pattern that I keep. And first off, you're going to fold down on your little lines, just like that, except I'm going to do it again. If you want your blue on the inside of the basket, which I do, you have to fold it in, and I was just about to make a mistake there. All right, then you fold your tabs. You make a little slit just to the inside, and it's just like making a box. If you've made boxes or looked at boxes, you can see how they're made. Okay, now we're going to fold this up, and these are going to go to the outside. Okay, so I'm going to put my glue right here. And I'm going to see if my tacky glue will hold this. I'm hoping it will. Sometimes I use hot glue for this. All right, then I'm just going to do just like that. See? Put it together, and then I'm going to hold it for a minute. And there. Now, if it doesn't measure exactly, which it probably won't, don't worry about that, because you can trim that with scissors. Now we'll fold this one in, put some glue. There we are. Alrighty. And then we're going to fold these two in and hold them for a minute. So now we've created your little box. And what's so nice about these little boxes is you can use them for all kinds of things. I mean, in miniatures, you just, it's really essential. Now, there's another pattern for the outside of this. Remember, this was the inside pattern. This one is the same as this without the tabs. I'm going to show you. You see? Hang on, let's get a hold of it. So it's the same thing, but you've just removed the corners, okay? And then I have cut it out of counted cross stitch material. Now I'm going to show you there's several options with this. This is some of it, and it is stiff, but you could make a basket. You could even weave embroidery thread through this to make your basket. This is another paper punched, and it's stiff. I don't know whether you can tell. But again, you could make your basket. And then this is just another color of the cross-stitch material. Okay, so now we are going to put some glue on the bottom of this. All right, here we go. And I use a good amount because I want it to really work well. All right, and now where's my piece of material? And I have some pencil mark on it, so I'm going to put it to the inside. And we're going to lay it. Whoops, well, it's a little crooked. Just like that. So it's, and I'm going to pick it up because it doesn't, so that the box part is exactly in the center. Okay? Now, all we got to do now is we put glue on this. And again, I'd use a good amount, and this is Eileen's extra tacky glue. So it glues, it's thick, it's extra, you know, it's thick and it stays pretty fast. Okay, now I'm going to just move up these two on both sides and squeeze them. So that they are, and like I said, don't worry if it's, you know, if it's not over the edge, because we're going to fix that. Okay, now we're going to do the same things on the side, and you can either put it on this or that. This time I'm going to put it on this one and fold him up. Now, if you see the way these corners are not coming together, again, don't worry about that. We're going to trim them, and they're going to look really good, hopefully. Now, here we go again with the glue. All right, there. Now we'll fold this up. And I like to kind of pinch it in the corners, okay? So then we'll get a real good seal, pinch it in. And now with sharp scissors, you see the way this has, you know. So we're going to trim it just a little bit. Okay, now these corners, you're just going to hold it to it and trim them. Got to have sharp scissors, and look at that corner. You see how nice that is? So just about perfect. All right, now this corner's not as bad for some reason, but anyway, we trim it. And you just got to work with your basket a little bit. If you use a nice cardstock, this was paper, so I think that's why I'm having a little bit more trouble with it. Now see how it's too high on this side. So once again, I'm going to trim this. And we'll trim the corners. There we go. Now we got our little basket. And they really aren't that difficult to do. And I just really like the look of them. You could literally put some thread through and you know, make a pretty colored basket or an Easter basket. You could do it round if you just wanted to make a circle with the paper and put the cross stitch, but I like the cross stitch as the basket weave. And you wouldn't even have to line it. I just lined it because I wanted it that way. Okay, the first thing I'm going to show for accessories, this is just a plain old wooden bead. Now they come in different sizes. Hold on, I'm trying to get my thread over here. Okay, now we got him. They come in little, or this one's slightly bigger. And for this, I'm going to use the bigger one, and I'm just going to show you. This is crewel yarn, and I can put it on a needle. I'm holding it with these fingers, and then you just keep going in the hole. I don't even use glue. And you just keep going around. Oopsie, I dropped my needle. And I leave that tail hanging out so I can kind of hang on to it. But here, it just keeps going around. And if you use a light bead, you don't have to use quite as much thread. But I would just keep going here and go all the way around my bead. And it makes a very nice little ball of yarn. And you could do this any size you wanted. Whoops. There we go. But at least you can get the gist of it, so that if it was like this, and then I just glue it, you know, at the end I would glue this down, and but it would fit, you know, you might have to make a bigger basket, but it does look like a ball of yarn. Okay, so that's the first one. Now, this one might be a little persnickety, but I had these beads. Whoa, there went my big bead. In my stash. I thought, how am I going to make ribbon? I knew I wanted ribbon in, you know, these little baskets. I just had to have some ribbon. So I happened to find these, and I thought, oh, they look just like the outside of the ribbon. So what I'm going to do here is put a tiny little dot of glue. We can clean that up. And I have some purple ribbon here, and we are going to just lay that on there and kind of let it dry, and we can get off the excess. Okay, now you can use regular glue. So we'll go back to my tacky glue and just glue this all the way along. That's what I like about the tacky glue. It has a little bit of lead time on the... So I just glued it around the outside, just like that. And when you come around to the beginning again, you're going to glue it down to itself. And I'll trim off those hairs of hot glue that we see. All right, then we're going to just pull that down, just like that. And hopefully it's going to stay. If it doesn't want to stay, we can put a tiny dot of hot glue right here. And that will hold it in place. Now you want some to be hanging over the basket. So what I did is I made a bunch of them. And you don't need much ribbon, just the tiniest little bit. And then you set them up in the basket, which I can show you with these other beads, and have some of the ribbon hanging out, and then just trim it right there. And it'll look like you have a whole basket of ribbon. And I was real pleased with that. All right, the next thing we're going to do is thread. Now, to make your thread, this is probably the easiest one. And we're going to just put some glue around a dowel. Now, you can use different sizes of dowels, of course. Then I have some yarn here, and if you use it doubled, you'll find, well, this is even tripled, which is probably even better. Okay, let's get in the middle here. Well, come on, don't be mean like that. All right, then you're just going to start to wrap it until you get it however wide you want it, okay? If you say, oh, well, that's good enough. I mean, this is up to you. This is nobody else but you. But you got to think about, what does a miniature thing of yarn might look like, okay? All right, there we go. Now, I'm just going to trim that right there. Oh, I got one more thread because that was a triple thread and I didn't realize it. All right, come on. Hard to do this with this. Okay, now, and then I'm going to just take this and we're going to hook it down. Just glue it down. All right, now, rather than cut it now, right up next, just leaving the tiniest bit between, I'm going to put more glue down, and I'm going to use a different color. All right, there we go, and I have some orange here. And we're just going to put it right up. You know, I just hold it into the glue on the ends, and then you just wrap it. There we go. And I really didn't get this one close enough to the other one that I'd want. I gotta focus in again. There we go. All right, but that's all right. I can just trim it. Now you can put as much or as little as you want on this skein, or spool of thread rather. There we go. Okay, now we glue that and we'll cut it. Let's see, where are here my little scissors? Now I'm going to take my big scissors, but you can take anything you want. And actually, I might use these. Now, these are little nippers, okay? And you put them here, and you want to get them close. Hang on, let's get them even closer. There. All right, now I'm just going to snip off that end, and it's going to go flying. Then between your two spools, you're going to cut this one, and I'm going to hold it so it doesn't go flying. And one more cut. You want to get it close, but you want to be able to see some of that, you know, the spool on each end. Now, here are the Temu ones again. And there's the one that I made. And I think they're quite similar. And now we'll get our basket again. And we're going to lay them in the basket. This one actually could have had some more. It's stuck to my finger. Hello. There we go. But we could have had a little bit less of the thing on there. Come on. There. And you can stack up as many as you want in there. That one's being persnickety. All right. But you get the picture. There they are. In their thing. And you just keep making more and putting them on. If you have a long dowel rod, you know, these go pretty quick. You can just do them one after the other. Now, the last thing I'm going to show you, you could probably figure out for yourself, but we'll just do it since I'm here, is the buttons. Now, for the buttons, I glue them first. So I'm going to decide. I don't understand. All right, here we go. We're going to make 4 little dots of glue. Okay, just like that. Then we're going to get our little tweezers, and I have buttons set out, and we're going to put them in the glue, okay? And you want 4 together. Now, if you don't have these little buttons, seed beads work very nicely for this. Now, you want to be sure that your buttons are, you know, lined up correctly. Now, this one's going to stick. I knew it because I got, whoops. Oh, here he is. He disappeared. Okay, let's see if I can't get him right here and get him to stick. Okay, and I got one more. There we go. Now all I do is I take my tiny marker, Let's see, I'm going to lay this down and open this up. And I will write in tiny little script right there. Whoa! Oh, something fell here. That scared me. Here, let me make it up here. In your tiniest handwriting, which means you have to have a tiny pen. There you go. You write buttons, and that could have been actually smaller. And then I like to just put like a pattern around it, like it's a, you know, but really that should have been smaller. Then you would cut that out. You would just cut this out, and you have a little card of buttons. But like I said, you can use seed beads, and those work well too. So once you've made your little basket, and there we are. There's your little buttons, and that just has a little piece of, and that again could go in our little basket. You could just layer them up. Okay, I think that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm sorry about the dog barking. That's Emmy in the background, and I will see you next time.